Okay, everybody must know this. There's been this big thing in the years and the years gone by about the climate. First, it was global warming. Everybody was saying, "Oh, global warming. The Earth's getting more hot every year, and it's going to get more hotter and more hotter if everybody doesn't do something about it." Okay, so there's that. And now it's switched to climate change. I heard it was global cooling before. Donald Trump was saying, namely. I heard him saying, yeah, in the 1920s, people were saying it was global cooling. They were saying the place is going to get too cold and everywhere is going to be frozen if they don't do something about it. So now everyone's saying it's too hot. So it's going to get hotter and hotter if people don't begin doing something about it. And now it's switched to climate change. So everybody's um, in denouncement of change and climate. So, you know, you could imagine where everybody's going on this. It's insane. It's insanity. Okay. You don't denounce change and get away with it. You don't denounce climate and get away with it. Why? Because the seasons are in need of change for them to be there. If there weren't any seasons, there would be no weather. So what is it? It's a denouncement of the seasons. It's a denouncement of the earth, of what is. It's suicide. Okay, so so people maybe there might be some people questioning well, what is the problem then? Well, there is a problem. There is a big problem, and that is one of the problems. But in terms of I think what it is that there's all these disasters going around, and people they don't know how to explain where it's coming from. Okay, now there is a area where that's coming from, but it's not what they say it's coming from. Okay, I put in my post where it's coming from, and people would see me who knows who I am, know that I know where it's coming from, and then I've put a lot of posts on where it's coming from. Well, I'm not going to talk about everywhere and all where it's coming from now today, but I am going to talk about one area of where it's coming from and what that one answer is. Okay, to make surety that it's not going to happen again from that area at a certain period where the answer has to be for that thing so that the people will benefit from that area. Because right as of now, there's a contradiction happening where people are meant to be having something that's meant to be benefiting them, where it's not benefiting them. It's contradicting them because where they're getting it from is causing them to be in debt. Okay, and this namely in the area of electricity. Okay, now there seems to be this great misconception where people cannot differentiate between coal and gas. Okay, now you got two people in the governments. They're saying one saying the coal is bad for the environment. Okay, burning coal is releasing these emissions. It's bad. It's causing this global warming or whatever. Okay, it's not causing the global warming, but it is a cause. It's dirty, so it's going to be a cause of disasters. That's the problem. Disasters. Okay, this is what must be avoided here. Okay, so you got this one people saying it's bad, but you got the other people. They're trying to say that coal is good because that person who is saying that it's bad, they haven't got the right reason to explain why it's bad. So they're saying it's good because what they're saying is wrong. You understand what I mean? They're trying to justify coal as being good by saying that the other person's wrong about it. And that's wrong. That's very wrong. That's incorrect. It's incorrect to say something is good all because someone else is wrong about it. That means that you're the person, whoever's being that way, is copying out on the other person's misconception. Okay? Now, it doesn't mean that everything that they're saying is wrong about it entirely or bad about it in respect to its misusage, because that's what it's being. It's being misused. That's what mainly is being pointed out. It should not be there for that. because there's a great consequence or disaster which it causes. But the disaster which it causes, it's not what that person's saying it is. So that they've been sort of cut off there. They can't go any further on the explanation. The rest of the explanation or whatever they're trying to explain is they can't, they don't know it. They're given this whole wrong picture of the earth. Okay? And you got these other people that are saying, that are trying to capitalize on their mistake and trying to say that the coal is good because their mistake is wrong. So it must be good because they're wrong about it. But no, that's not how it is, okay? Coal is bad. It's a disastrous for burning. Think about it. There's not enough coal to go around. How many billions of tons are you going to dig? You know how many it's billions of tons. Billions of tons. Food alone is around maybe 9 to 10 billion tons that's harvested. It's the global production every year. But you got this, it's hundreds of billions of tons each year. And each year there's a billion tons of ash. A billion tons of ash. And it's a solid. It's not as if it's going to fucking go back there as water. You know, water evaporates, it rains, it goes back. The liquid, it evaporates, it goes back, it travels, it goes back there. There's always water. There's always going to be, you know, the placement, you got to get the placement right, but there's always going to be water. But this coal, you're going to keep, it's not going to, it has to stop. You can't keep digging it up and burning it, okay? And people that dig it up, these whole big chunks of forest are being taken out. Why can't they dig it somewhere where there's no trees? For some reason, they're always going to where the trees are. And they're digging up all these massive holes. Just quit it, right? Can't you see that it's bad? It's dirty. People get black lung. People have died in those mines mining for that coal. Why? To mine coal when you've got gas. When you've got natural gas, it's clean enough to cook with. It's clean enough to cook with. An abundant supply that there's so much. If you knew how much is there, type in AI, there's something like more than the coal reserves. And Australia has exported in the past year the amount to around 6 times of what it used in like the next 5 years or something. So you can imagine how much there is. And they're saying, people are saying, but it causes carbon dioxide and blah blah blah. If it's gas, it's CH4. It's 4 times hydrogen. So how is it going to give off CO2 if it's CH4? How? Think about it. When water evaporates, it always evaporates into itself, into H2O. So why can't the gas do that? Why can't the gas evaporate to CH4 and go back to where it comes from, the same as water? It's a liquid, it has to. Why not? Think about it. It has to go back to its origin, the same as water. You can't track water with a camera, but you got it through faith alone. That should be enough to say, okay, it's a liquid, it has to go back. And what else? You got all the reserves in every nation, every place around the earth, all these reserves. No, not one of them shut down. I asked AI. It said not one of them shut down. They've always been operating. Always. So, you got these people saying that the reserves, that everyone's going to run out of gas. The gas things are being depleted. Blah, 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 blah. How do they know? They can't go down there and check. They can't go down there and have a look at it. But yet, that's meant to be knowledge to you. That's meant to be knowledge to everybody. Why? How? They can't see it. They don't know that. Where's the study? It's a misconception. What are they doing? So, gas, it's the only form of electricity. Natural gas or methane, It's the only form of electricity that leaves no waste or no leftovers. It leaves no rubbish. It leaves no garbage. The only one. You got coal, it leaves ash. You got ash left over from the coal, it's a rubbish. People are trying to make cement out of it. How long are you going to be doing that for? And you can't guarantee that, you know, that's going to be for that purpose, and you're always going to need that billion tons. And you want your cement to last. You don't want to continue having to, smash down places and you got all this cement to put in a garbage tip and then you got this ash to juggle. No, you want it to make a cement. You want to just get the limestone, get how much you need, and then that can be it for however long you need. You can cement last hundreds of years. If you build it properly, you can last a very long time. So, so the want is for things to last and to be quality. You don't want to be putting cement from ash. Anyway, you got the ash left over from the coal. You got, what else? You got your nuclear waste, or what's called nuclear waste. You got your nuclear garbage. What's left over from the nuclear plants. People are trying to bury it all underneath the earth and trying to find places to get rid of this waste or this rubbish, this nuclear filth that's left over from the nuclear plants, the radioactive from the nuclear sites. It gets on the clothes, it gets on all that stuff, and they got to get the people that work in those factories, get rid of all their clothes and put it in fucking big barrels and try to get rid of it somehow. So, you got all this nuisance factories with all these barrels of nuclear rubbish in areas that people don't know how to get rid of. Now, I was saying if you're going to do that, you might as well incinerate it, but there's going to be ash left over or whatever from that. So you might as well just use gas. Just use gas. There's no wastage. There's no wastage. There's no rubbish left over. Okay, so what else? You got the renewables. Renewables. How much you use the gas or the coal is required to make a renewable anyway. So you end up in debt with all this electricity that's been put into making this, or it's meant to be made for this purpose, all right? That you're going to be trying to get back just in the next 4 to 5 years if it works. You don't know how much sun there's going to be, or it hasn't been really worked out and put to people in a mathematical perspective how much, it's guaranteed it's going to yield this much electricity and blah blah blah, and you can't turn it up and down. So if you get more sun on one day, it's going to be an overload. What are you going to do with that overload? It's going to burn out. These cables are going to get so worn out from all this electricity. It's going to be going through these transmission cables over and over and over again when people don't even need it. And you got all these windmills going up all over the place. So it's sort of a rubbish of electricity that you're not going to use. It's going to be out there that, and these solar panels supposedly and these turbines, supposedly they can't even be recycled. And so what are you going to do? You're going to try to forget about the source of where the source electricity came from to make those things in the first place, that were meant to be made for that purpose in the first place. The thing that's not even going to be really benefited from for anybody at a certain area, that you're going to be in debt for so long. And that's another reason why they're costing so much dollars, so much dosh. How much does it cost? The bill's going up and up because everybody's in debt, an electrical debt, an electricity debt. All right, so be not in debt. Use something that's already there. Okay, that's already there. Name of the gas, it's already piped. You can just pipe it to an electricity generator, and that's it. I'm trying to work on a generator for the house, okay, to charge a few car batteries. So it costs like a couple of $100 max for a nice car battery. Get a few of those, and that's all you really need. I noticed one lasted charging my phone like a week or over, and I use it for lights and that. And that's one old one. It's an old lead acid battery that I've been able to charge and bring back to life recently. So, that's an old. Imagine if a new one, a nice new battery, will last longer and it charges quicker too. So, get a few of those and get hooked up, and how much wattage is on one of those is 1,000 watts or something. So you get a TV's 100 watts per hour. So you got not everybody watches a TV. I just use my Android. So a lot of people just use the internet these days. So you got not much electricity is required, is needed. All right. So so yeah. So you got runny nose here. So yeah, not that much is required. You can use a generator, convert it to gas to use for charging your battery while you're doing your heavy loads of your laundry and stuff, and that's it. And you can just use it to charge that, and whenever you need it, you just switch it on, and that's it. And you can have your batteries for your lights when you need to switch the generator off. You just switch it off, and you can have it in a soundproof enclosure, so and it's not letting off, so it doesn't let off any sound. And because it's running on gas, there's going to be no stinking smell. With petrol, it stinks, it smells. You don't want the stink, you don't want the smell. Put it on gas. Cars can run on gas too, so there's no stink or smell. So anyway, think about it. So coal and gas, okay. Big misconception, okay. Don't say the coal is good, or because someone else is wrong about it, okay. Make your argument about, or whatever it is you're going to say about you. If you're really sincere about you, don't make it about the other person. Okay, you got to make it about what you think. You're not to cop out on people and get a means to an end about it. It's not how it goes. Okay, you have to give a reason what you think and why something is good, not because someone else what they say about it's bad and you're supposed to be better than them because what they say is nonsense and it's nonsense. No. Say what you think is good, okay? And you just leave that other person alone and you justify your cause for what you're meant to believe in. And that's how you go, okay? Okay. So yeah, coal and gas. If you can't tell the difference between coal and gas, okay, then there is a very big problem, okay, with you. And you need to get some knowledge and listen to what I'm saying, okay? Because if as long as you're on this earth and you don't know the difference and what it causes, then you're going down a very wrong path and you're going to probably crash, okay? You're going to crash. You're going to crash very badly, and you're not going to make it to a place where the good things are happening, okay, where the heaven and people are happy and the bad things go away. Because know this, there is bad. There's a lot of bad happening in this world, and it's because people misunderstand, and not only misunderstand, and there are other people that are copying out on those who misunderstand and trying to be listened to by other people because what they're saying is about the other person, which is wrong. They're not saying what they believe in. So what's that? That's bullying. Okay? Don't cop out on the other person and say what you're saying is right just all because they're wrong. Okay? They might be wrong, but don't you think something is right about what they're saying? Something is okay. Something is correct. What they're saying, they've got a cause for being. Why can't you just feed them something good? All right, so that they may be saved from the bad, and maybe you two people can work together. If you really knew what's good, okay, you got to really know what's good to do that. Okay, so quit copping out on each other. Okay, there's a problem. Everybody knows it's a problem. It's not because of someone else. Okay, just if you want to know what the problem is, just listen to what I have to say, and you look at my posts, and you know what the fucking problem is. I'm serious, all right? You know exactly what the problem is. If you look at my post, I put it there, and I'm going to be putting more on there. And I'm gonna keep coming with it because everybody's been lied to. Okay, everybody's been lied to in the past from their ancestors, and it's very frustrating and annoying each and every day that it happens. Okay, especially for one that knows it. I know it. People that don't know it, they're not knowing where their suffering coming from, so they can't fight it. Imagine if you knew where it's coming from and you could fight it every day, and you knew where it's coming from, and you knew exactly why, you know, things are bad and as it is now. The frustration, at least it would be a directed frustration, whereas now people don't really know that and they're not being affected by it, so it doesn't really get to them in a way that it does to those who do know about it, and that's where you get where people all have to live living together on the earth. You get people that are suffering and they pass away of an unnatural death. It's horrible, but to them it wasn't that bad because they never knew it was good anyway, so what would they know? You know what I mean? It's bad for the one that knows, that can see it, that knows what's bad, and it couldn't save the person that wanted to. You know, realistically, if the things were set up, for them to be saved, but at least there are gonna be some people that are saved. All right, so just you gotta have that help there, so everybody can benefit off each other. All right, because if not, then nobody can make it past this nonsense. Okay, so think about it. Gas and electricity. I mean, gas and coal, electricity. The people that are connected to coal, they're losing out because what's being generated, it's meant to be generated for what's coming through them. It can't go back to come back to them because because coal, it's a solid. It's not going to go back. So they're in debt to not only to how much effort it takes for that coal to get to to get to the plant to be burned, but the consequences or repercussions of what's left over from digging it. I'm in coal. I'm in a coal, but I can't get out at the moment. I switch my electricity off at the meter during the daytime, and I got my phone ready to be charged on a car battery, and on the lights if I need them on a car battery, because I don't want all that electricity running through my house all day where I'm living from this plant. I don't need 48,000 kilowatts running through my house every day if I'm not going to be using it. I don't need it on standby. I don't need that. I've got a generator. Now I'm working on getting a soundproof enclosure to use that when I need it. I can start it off on petrol until I can get a gas conversion for it, and then be really clean about it. But again, just think about what's naturally clean and unclean. Forget about this whole CO2 global warming argument for or against it. Just don't go near it. Don't go near them people that are fucking on all these universities. You can just go by what's obvious. You're not going to go to something because it stinks. Why? You go for something that's clean. You can cook your food with a gas. Why aren't you using it? Okay? Okay, so take care. See ya.